This tale is, as all bard songs are, an adaptation. It may contain adult themes and strong language. Welcome, dear listeners, to Abyss.
Welcome to episode 2 of Abyss. Who are you? What are you? And since today is National Croissant Day, what is your favourite thing to either have in a croissant or eat with a croissant? Starting with Shiraz.
Hello, I'm Shiraz. I'll be playing Ishidoro the Dragonborn rogue, and I like jam in my croissant. Plain and simple.
What kind of jam?
Orange is the flavour nowadays that I'm going for.
Fair enough. Next we have Wednesday.
Hi, I'm Wednesday and I am playing Desolation, or Layla for short. My favourite kind of croissant-y type thing is pain au chocolat actually. And that's it.
Very nice. Next we have Tauno.
Hi, I am Tauno. I am playing Rasthikos, the human expatriate genteel poverty noble fighter or warrior in this system. I also prefer a pain au chocolat with a glass of freshly squeezed orange juice.
Ooh. Next we have Dragon.
Hello, I'm Dragon. I'm playing Nitra, and I can't eat croissants most of the time because I'm allergic to dairy, so I can only have the vegan ones, and they don't taste nearly as good and they're really difficult to get hold of. But it would have been croissant and jam.
Theoretically speaking, if you were to stab yourself with an EpiPen and then scarf it down, would you die?
I wouldn't die, but I would probably pass out, and then I wouldn't be able to get out of my bed for a couple of days.
Oh, that's no fun.
Yeah, it's just really irritating allergy.
Remind me to eat more croissants near you.
You can eat as many as you like, that's fine.
And finally, Susie.
Hi, I'm Susie. I play 13. She's a goblin. And I like a coffee with my croissant. So imaginative.
Plain croissant with coffee?
Yeah, toasted, warm. You don't want a cold one.
Okay. Just say at this point, Freya isn't well this week, so she will hopefully return next week. So, if someone wishes to lead on, what happened last week?
I have notes. Of course I have notes.
We're returning to form! Yay!
I always take
13 saw a really good show as far as she's concerned. It was really awesome. There was screaming, there was fire.
So, last time, we're in the Underdark. We were all in a chain gang. We're all chained together. There was a creepy rumble from the lake. A big rock falls and kills 2 guards and the slave on the far end. Scavenged some stuff from them. Heard Drow coming, went down the tunnel, knocked out the zealot, ended up carrying the dead slave at the end because her brother refused to go anywhere without her body. The Kratoa have raised some god-awful, horrific monster in the lake. We managed to escape in a long cargo boat and get picked up by dwarves who were going to try and kill us, but our dwarf managed to talk them round. Most of the slaves have now been freed, but they have a job for us to do, and we are now in the town square with a temple, I think.
So, on your way, last week you We're taking off your chains and had your sort of anklets removed, so you're no longer got any kind of chain gang bits attached to you. And you were taken off towards this dwarven temple. You are all individually taken to separate rooms and scrubbed ridiculously clean, given fresh robes that are the size of dwarfs, so they are baggy on some of you and very, very tight on others.
And very short.
And very short, yes. So you have now reconvened in this sort of vestibule of this temple, and you're just sort of looking over each other, and you don't recognise half of you because, like, with all the mud and stuff and dirt off their faces, it's very difficult to recognise each other, especially in the very clean dwarven robes.
Especially the Dragonborn, who looks like Link with the green tunic on.
Link in hot pants.
Link in hot pants.
While he stood next to a goblin who basically probably looks like a pile of laundry.
I see they gave you mine.
You want it?
No, now. You got it on. It's fine.
Got it on. Don't know how you'll get it back off, but yeah.
No.
So the guard commander reappears, and he tells you all that he will provide you all food and bed, but he needs a small service from each of you. He needs you to basically be effectively waiting staff for the Lord Themberchaud, because the current staff, the handmaid staff, handservant staff, he needs to interrogate them because they have had a recent theft of a very valuable artifact, and he cannot afford to, let the Lord have no waiting staff. So until either this group have given up the location of the artifact, or more can be trained, which will be 100 days most, he wants you to basically wait on the Lord.
I mean, we could interrogate them for you.
We have the finest tools to do it, and he points to a room that looks like it's full of very old, rusty implements.
Layla very shyly wraps her tail around her leg, especially because this outfit is incredibly short, and at the word service to the Lord started to have a minor sort of not noticeable panic attack.
I really think that we would be much better at the interrogation.
Well, it hopefully won't be for too long. In you go, and he opens the door. And in front of you is quite a large hall, and in the middle there's this immense pile of gold, and on top of this gold, curled up like a kitten, is an enormous red dragon.
Ooh.
So as you walk in, there's 2 or 3 guards who hand you buckets, mops, scrubbing brushes, and gigantic files, and says, yeah, just scrub him, clean him, it's what he needs, otherwise he starts to stink. And they walk out of the room and shut the door behind them, and you hear it lock.
Ooh.
What do you do?
13 picks up a bucket and a mop and immediately goes over and starts trying to clamber up the gold pile, I imagine, to go and scrub.
Could I do a perception check, I think?
You can, yes.
Does this dragon know that this is what's happening? Are we going to get eaten or something?
You hear very, sort of light sleeping breathing, effectively, from the dragon. It's a very large dragon, and it seems to be content where it is. And you notice 13 kind of clambering up the side of the dragon, throwing water over it and starting to mop it.
She probably starts singing a wee song while she's doing it. I'm going to scrap behind your ear. Where are dragon's ears? And just
the dragon begins to roll, and it rolls round to face the rest of you, and you notice its eyes focus in, and you hear a sort of very rumbling voice going,
Hello.
Is it speaking common?
It's speaking undercommon.
Undercommon?
Mm-hmm.
Shall I translate for you, human?
That would be very helpful. And again, I imagine Rasthikos is the biggest person here, but again, also dressed in dwarf clothes and has done his best to look not at all perturbed. Though it is starting to show with the situation and all.
The dragon has said hello.
The dragon yawns immensely, and it's got huge, sharp teeth about the same size as one of your legs.
Oh my, Mr. Dragon, what large teeth you have! Do you want me to clean them?
Yes, I do. And it leans towards you and sort of pulls its lip back and shows you one of its teeth.
What tools are available for the goblin to clean teeth with?
You have a mop.
You have a mop and a scrubbing brush.
A mop and a scrubbing brush at the moment.
she gets that scrubbing brush, it just starts going about those teeth. Like, she's totally not bothered.
Yep, the dragon is completely content to let you do this.
Yeah, those little birds that fly into the crocodile's mouths. She's like whistling away.
So what are the rest of you doing while this goblin is cleaning this dragon's teeth?
I'm very slowly walking up to the dragon, far away from its teeth, and starting to very non-committedly clean as well.
Okay.
Therese is going to walk over and I'll start cleaning some of the claws.
Okay. You begin to start effectively filing the dragon's nails, and the dragon seems quite content. Eventually, its eyes sort of open again, and it looks down towards you and goes, "Where are my normal servants?"
They are carrying out other duties at the moment,
But
my
what
lord.
could be more important than me? I need to look beautiful.
But you are a dragon, you are always beautiful.
Yes, but I need to feel beautiful.
As you say, I believe they are attempting to find something that was lost.
What does it matter? I should have my servants.
We can pass that on if you wish.
Good. Are you wanting to say anything else to the dragon, or are you wanting to just contently clean it for the next couple of hours?
I'm going to say in Draconic, if possible. I'm going to say, like, it's a pleasure to be of service to you, your eminence. And proceed to, like, kind of take position right next to Triss and start, like, helping her file the nails and, like, polishing the scales and stuff.
It looks at you as if it doesn't understand what you've just said.
Oh. So if I notice that, I'll repeat myself in common.
Okay, and Undercommon, it completely understands you, but it doesn't understand Draconic.
Okay.
But Rasthikos has hesitated until everyone else has moved on, then tries to sort of mop the underbelly, clearly not knowing how to work a mop and a scrubbing brush.
So, for the next couple of hours, you're scrubbing this immense dragon. You scrub it from basically head to toe, and it's very content all the way through. And by the end of the day, you're all beginning to feel quite exhausted. Are you wanting to do anything before you finish for the night?
While I'm, like, kind of helping clean the dragon, just take a look around the room, use perception to see if I can spot anything of note, like anything that sticks out to me.
Yep, sure. Roll awareness. You're in a massive hall. It looks like it's always built as a sort of tribute room. And it looks like the gold itself has covered more and has slowly gone down. But there's a couple of upstairs posts that look like they're for guards, but there's none stationed.
The dragon is a dragon, like there's no kind of mistaking it. Not
It's
like
a massive, about maybe 80-foot long dragon.
okay.
With
Is
quite
the
large purple tinged wings.
Could I do a dungeoneering check?
Yes.
And can we do this without the dragon noticing?
Yes, you can. The door itself seems locked from this side. There is a smaller door on the other side that seems to lead to some servants' quarters.
Okay.
There's a sort of hatch at the side of the main door, which seems to be where, if any new equipment or any new soap or anything like that gets delivered through, it looks like it doesn't open the main door.
Okay.
But the room itself is just like a gigantic circular room with this huge gold pile on the floor in front of you and this dragon on top of it that likes to sort of roll around on top of the gold as you're cleaning it.
Do we need to roll anything not to get smushed in the process?
Not at the moment, no. It's very slow moving.
It's a lazy dragon.
It's quite pudgy, as in it looks like it doesn't really do much. At one point, you do have a couple people enter. They're there to feed it, and basically they are just like throwing like cow legs effectively into its mouth at very sort of dragon-sized, bite-sized chunks, so it barely even has to chew.
Could I roll lore to see, like, what would I have to roll to see what the dragon's purpose is here? Is he worshipped by them, or is he...
You can ask the dragon what he does if you want.
I'll do that. Like, he understands common, right?
Yeah, he understands Undercommon, yeah.
So I'm going to be the most kind of, like, servile person right now and go, Your Greatness, what is it that you do here apart from look extravagantly beautiful?
I light the forges.
Oh.
They need my fire, these pitiful creatures. They can't produce my fantastic flame without me.
You're most generous to give them the gift of your flame.
I know.
So, do they just continuously need it, or do they just impose upon it?
They need me to relight the forge. They restock it with fuels and it can burn for up to 3-4 days.
That's amazing.
But there's always one expiring, and the fools can't light themselves with dragon fire.
Do you know what your past servants are looking for? They didn't tell us much. They just said that we had to come in here and serve you, and we hopped to the chance.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything that could even remotely be better than spending it cleaning my beautiful form.
Yes, but they are being, otherwise occupied. They should be here helping us. I wonder what could be that thing that's so important.
If they took any of my treasure, I would have incinerated them on the spot.
Oh, surely, yes.
And
I agree.
he does a sort of gentle, fire ring from his mouth, just and this, small ring of fire just floats out.
13 applauds.
Yeah, I clap ridiculous.
Therese twitches. She's very used to the dark and the shadows, not fire.
Rasthikos is just sort of confused by this conversation that he does not understand, and then the dragon just spews a little bit of fire into the air.
Yeah, Layla doesn't know what's happening either. All she sees is fire, and then her eyes sort of light up as she follows the direction of the flames. She's quite enamored.
Do I notice these reactions from the others?
Roll awareness to see if you notice the reactions from others. Yes, you're aware of some of your companions' sort of reluctance to be near the dragon.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
13 was going to ask the dragon his name.
My name is Themberchaud.
That's a very impressive name. Has 13 ever heard of this name before?
No.
No.
Have any of us heard of this name?
No.
Okay.
Does the name come out just as a name? So irrespective of what language you speak, you hear the name?
Yes.
Okay.
Is he answering me in common or undercommon?
He's answering you in undercommon, yeah.
But he understands common. Because I was speaking to him in common. I don't speak on.
I'll just have it that the dragon understands common and undercommon.
Yeah.
I thought you were speaking undercommon, but yeah.
That's fine. That means our human can understand as well.
And I was probably having Triss kind of be interpreter for me.
So, are you doing anything else as the day rolls on, or are you just waiting to finish your shift?
You can't really communicate with the dragon anyway to make him make more fire just for fun. So I'm just going to continue to clean the dragon now with more fervor because he makes such beautiful flames.
Okay, so you spend the whole day, about 12 hours of the day, cleaning this dragon, and a sort of gong goes off. 2 guards approach, opening the door to the slave quarters and say, right, turn-in time. And you trudge through to the slave quarters where you each have a very small sized bed. It would fit a fat dwarf, so it's quite wide, but it's quite short.
Ugh.
And as you sit down, you notice 2 or 3 more sort of hand servants come from somewhere else, and you recognise them from the kitchen.
13 gets a whole bed to herself?
Mm-hmm.
13 just goes and jumps on the bed.
This is like a step up from the Drow camp.
Indeed.
Definitely that, yes.
But we're still
Wow.
slaves.
Yes, we're still servants here. Is it up to 100 days, these conditions?
Still think we should interrogate the other people or try and figure out what went missing so we can be replaced and set on our merry way.
Okay.
Yes.
You wanting to talk to the other servants?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Also,
Before
have we
that-
been fed?
Yes, you've all been fed reasonably decent food considering.
Before we go on, just for story purposes, I'd like to have Rasthikos actually know what was in the conversation he heard in Undercommon. To have people sort of fill him in.
Okay, I assume someone's going to fill you in the conversation.
Yeah.
13 can tell him all about it at great length with embellishment. He might
She also tells you quite happily about the cow bone she found stuck between the teeth.
how it was my gold, and look, here it is! And produces it and hands it to him.
Rasthikos will just plod along, trying to get back to the information that he thinks matters.
So, what are you going to say to these other servants?
So are these the same group that were previously cleaning the dragon, or?
No, they look like they're kitchen staff.
So like I compliment them on the food, and then ask them like if they know what's going on with the other servants.
There's about 4 or 5 of these servants, and they sort of look amongst themselves that they're not really sure to answer. Then one of them goes, "They might know the answer." So another one takes a sort of slight brave swallow and comes up to you and says, "Did the dragon mention anything?"
About what?
"About the egg."
No.
Okay, well, if the dragon does mention the egg, tell us where we can find it.
Is that what's gone missing?
Hey?
They look at you and he goes, "Yeah, the dwarves were keeping this dragon egg, and it's gone missing. I think that's where the people who were doing your job have gone."
But why did they have a dragon egg? They have a dragon.
Well, you see, they raised that dragon, and they didn't do a good job of it. It won't listen to them. It's grown fat and lazy. The dwarves want to kill it and raise a new one. Do it better this time.
Oh. To be honest, it doesn't sound like they should have care of a dragon.
They need it for their furnaces. Otherwise the light goes out. They can't afford the light to go out again.
Does the dragon know about the egg?
I don't know.
Like you said that if it says anything.
Well, we can't talk to the staff that you've replaced.
Right.
All we know is it's gone missing and we don't think it left the temple. So either the hand staff took it or the dragon took it.
Oh, okay.
The dwarves haven't asked the dragon about it. I think he's too afraid to.
Yeah, I can imagine. He's huge.
What happened the last time that the light went out?
Set back for ages. Dwarves couldn't build anything. They need the heat from dragonfire to make anything. Their forges don't burn hot enough otherwise.
Ah, is that why? That makes sense.
Do you know where the others are? Do you give them food as well? I'm assuming
they don't
they're
bring
still
them
being
food.
fed.
The guards are keeping them somewhere. We don't know where they are. Apparently they're being tortured violently.
That did seem to be the implication. Yes.
But if the dragon asks you or tells you where the egg is, let us know where it is. If we can find it, maybe they'll release the rest of them.
What language is he speaking?
They're just speaking common.
Oh, okay.
Okay, these other servants, are they dwarves?
Some of them are dwarves, some of them are Dero, some of them are deep gnomes.
Okay.
So all kind of underground races.
Yeah.
Do we see the person who put us in this place? Do we see the guard who bought us?
No, he was the head guard. You don't see him anywhere nearby.
Okay.
You only see 2 guards, and that's guarding the door into the dragon.
Okay. I kind of sit around with everyone close by and kind of go. It'd be a horrible thing if the dragon knew that he was going to be replaced. They can be jealous.
Do you think he would care?
Certainly, the dragon has a very high opinion of itself.
Yeah.
Dragons generally do.
I mean,
If I could breathe fire, I would have a very high opinion of myself.
But you can spit acid.
That's pretty cool.
So, do we want to spend our time cleaning dragons, or do we want to try and figure out if we can get our hands on this egg and get ourselves out of this situation?
Maybe if we tell the dragon what's happening, he'll decide to leave, and then they'll have no choice but to reveal the egg, because they need another dragon for their forge.
Yeah, I don't think they know where the egg is.
Someone does. Of course, maybe it is the dragon that does.
Maybe the dragon ate the egg.
Possible.
It would be the traditional way of getting rid of your replacement.
Tomorrow when we go back to clean the dragon, let's try and see if we can search around the room and see if we can find any...
If I might be entirely honest, this dragon does not seem to be the brightest of its kin. And that's not just because we need to clean.
We need to clean it because it is lazy and
Yes.
because it is underground. Surely it would want to clean itself in water in the above world.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's easily distracted by anybody talking to it and praising it continuously. So I'm pretty sure if one person keeps its attention, we can go our way about searching, see if we can find any clues.
Yes, and at worst, we tell the dragon what they are planning. It will no doubt cause carnage, and then we escape.
I mean, we could be blamed for everything and summarily put to execution.
We could, but that is probably why they kept us, instead of sending in dwarves. It's easier to dispose of outsiders.
Well, let's see what tomorrow brings.
Indeed.
I'm really tired sharpening those nails.
Okay. Is anyone doing anything else before you sleep for the night?
No.
Okay. Elves don't need as much sleep. I would like to keep partial watch overnight. So, stay awake for the first 2 hours and then wake up after a few hours. I'm very suspicious of these dwarves.
Okay. So you basically all kind of get into what beds you have. Those of you that are taller than 5 foot, your legs hang out at the bottom of the bed, but you sleep relatively soundly considering it's quite quiet. Nothing really goes on. You are awoken by a handbell, which signals that you're being fed from the kitchen staff, who bring you food, and the guards tell you that you will be returning to his lordship shortly.
I just want to point out here that if people aren't careful, 13 will steal food off them.
I will share most of my food with 13.
Aww. You're her new best friend. She's going to follow the Dragon Man everywhere now.
Just as planned.
Is there enough food for each of us?
Oh yeah, there's surprisingly plenty considering. It's as if the dwarves understand how much work is needed to clean the dragon.
That's fair. Although we're still quite emaciated from mining for the ground.
Most of the food you get seems to be a strange variety of grain and some sort of meaty tasting mushrooms.
Silent green? No.
It's not people, no. But it's definitely a sort of tastes like imitation meat, but it's definitely mushroom.
Okay.
Is it familiar to those of us from the Underdark?
Yes.
Okay.
Where exactly are we? And right now, where we're eating, is it like a canteen, or is it like
It's just basically like a small room off the side from your sleeping quarters.
Okay, so we're nowhere near where that torture room was, right?
No, that's the other side of the big main door.
Sure. Okay.
We shall have one of us try to get up that side of the room today.
Okay.
So, as you finish eating and the dwarf guards open the door, you journey along the small corridor back into the dragon room, who is lying on his back with his legs wide open, snoring loudly.
I start to get to work earnestly, and if he wakes up, I'm just going to ask him about his life. Every insignificant detail about his day-to-day function.
Okay. You start scrubbing the dragon down, and he awakes with a...
Morning, your lordship.
Good morning.
How are you feeling today?
I feel filthy.
Oh, we'll get that sorted out. Everyone, to your post.
13 grabs her scrubbing brush and runs up to start scrubbing some teeth.
Okay.
Trace looks at Layla. Do you want to check out the other side of this room while we keep the dragon busy?
Yes, that was the idea.
Good. So
Okay.
I also start cleaning. I'll clean the tail today.
Okay. So, while you're all scrubbing, is someone talking to the dragon?
I am asking it about its day-to-day life and how it came to be here, and you must have been around for a while. Tell us about the good times.
The dragon, basically, he talks a lot about himself. He says that he's always been here and that, everyone comes to bask in his greatness.
And I ask him, when visiting hours are and when people from the outside can come and see him. We're scrubbing him every day, but doesn't seem to be any more visitors.
He tells you that people from all over come to see him. He just gets no notice by it. Today is a day he has special guests visiting.
What kind of special guest?
He describes them to you as the white-robed people.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't describe them as anything else. It's as if that's all he knows about them.
Yeah, I'm just keeping him busy about, just small talk. Unless he asks me any direct questions, I am just going to...
Just responds. He doesn't seem to ask any questions.
Yeah.
May I take a look on the other side of the room?
Yep. So you walk around the edge of the room. There doesn't seem to be much here apart from the odd gold coin or so.
Okay.
When
So
you
nothing of interest at all.
No, it literally just seems like a not sealed marble room, but it's pretty much just a room with a couple of things, dense things on the wall. Put it this way, there's no obvious way that a dragon of this size could get out of here.
Ah, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Are there any other doors around apart from the one we come from?
There's only the door you came in from the servants' quarters and the big door leading out. The big door's your standard, like, double door. With maybe
Can
a
it
bit
fit
of
the
extra
dragon?
3 or 4 foot up. The dragon wouldn't fit through there.
I ask him, like, what comes through that door.
All my visitors come through that door.
Oh, it'd be really nice to see that one day. You know, all your visitors fawning over you.
It is a private show, I'm afraid.
Well, fair enough. And I can continue, like, small talk.
Okay.
While that's going on, Rasthikos will be cleaning the underbelly again today. What would I need to roll to know about the organ placements for dragons?
They're standard, you know. You roughly know where things are, but he's got quite impenetrable scales.
Even on the underbelly?
Even on the underbellies. It's like his stomach scales have been toughened from a younger age by dwarves who seem to go like, we want this dragon to be impermeable. As in, you like tap your hand on it. You could probably punch the dragon full force and the dragon wouldn't feel it.
13's going to ask him what the white-robed people talk about.
They don't talk.
So they just stand and look at you?
They scritch me.
They scritch you?
And he gives you a very over-satisfied look.
Can I try scritching you?
Can if you want.
She's going to, like, scratch his chin like you would a cat. But she's a tiny goblin, so...
He sort of blinks at you and goes,
No, lower.
She goes lower.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, progressively and innocently, 13 is going to keep on trying, scritching the dragon,
you
like,
get
from
down
his
to
face.
about crotch level and then the dragon starts making strange noises and you're like, right.
And Rasthikos will be very weirded out by this. Not
Watching a goblin, yeah.
Wait. As the dragon is distracted, does this mean they have a female dragon somewhere? And they are collecting? They've all spoken as though this dragon is male. And if it were a female, they would know that they had produced an egg. It does sound like they are trying to breed dragons. Oh dear, 13. Oh dear.
I just kind of call out to 13 in common. I'm like, no, don't touch that, no.
What do you want scratching?
Yeah, I think cleaning more important than scritching. Leave the scritching to the white robe people.
Okay.
The dragon looks notably grumpier once you stop. And he rolls onto his side.
I ask him if he's ever seen any other of his kind.
I am the only dragon. Any usurpers will be killed.
But you haven't seen any usurper. Ever.
No, and I will not tolerate their attempts to replace me either.
And he looks at the door and back again.
Surely no one would seek to replace you. You are magnificent.
I know, but I was made aware of an egg.
Oh?
I cannot have an egg. Would you give up this life?
I wouldn't even begin to imagine what this life is like.
I am a god.
And he twists his head up and makes himself look really regal.
In common, well, because I can't speak undercommon anyway, I'm going to say, why don't you tell him he's a prisoner? How does he get out of here?
Someone going to tell him that?
I'm like, so you never get out of this room? You never go out and bask in the glory of
Would
city
you
adulating?
want to leave when you have your fortune to lie upon?
I mean, there's plenty of fortune out there. You know, we came in from the outside. There's all kinds
There
of
is
things
more
out there.
fortune out there.
Yeah.
Forgive me, great dragon. I still don't understand how you could be replaced. Even if they did have an egg, wouldn't a youngster take a very long time to even begin to produce your fire?
It doesn't matter. I do not want to even see another dragon. I mean, how do dragons come about? How are eggs produced? I am not told.
Well, when a boy dragon loves a girl dragon very much.
Girl dragon.
A girl dragon. It's where
What
they
is
make
girl dragon?
It's like,
Oh.
so you see them. You see how the drowy one, she's got bumpy bits on her chest, and then there's the human one, and he doesn't.
So other dragons have bumpy bits.
Yes. And they can make baby dragons.
Are bumpy bits tasty?
I don't know. I've never eaten bumpy bits.
No, wait, I don't understand. Never mind.
13 has it almost right. I fear it is some of the scritchies may be involved.
What?
Possibly a male and a female dragon scritching each other?
Dragons scritching each other? You mean
How do they make babies?
they're not supposed to be scritching me?
Well, let's just put it this way, that a female dragon would be much better at scritching you than
He
the white robe
looks
dwarves.
notably angered.
I think I'm going to start backing off slightly, or at least not be standing in front of his face.
Same.
Rasthikos will jump off the belly at this point.
Does he look like he's going to use his fire?
He just looks really angry. And you see him sort of looking like he's trying to work something out in his mind. And then he looks towards you and he goes,
I will lament and give them one last scritch for old time's sake. And then I will burn this city to ashes.
Yes, your lordship.
Whatever you wish.
Are you gonna burn me?
he looks at you and tilts his head slightly and goes,
You have several hours. I suggest you make haste.
But we can't get out the door.
Yeah, we're stuck here.
They locked it.
He sort of looks at the door and then he looks up. There's a sort of rudimentary clock kind of mechanism on the wall. And he goes,
My scritches will be here and under the hour. While they are here, tell the guards you wish to speak to the commander. Tell him you want to go see the warehouse. Once you have there, leave. Do not return. You have 1 day before I incinerate this city.
You're most kind, your lordship.
Take it as a reward for telling me what I needed to hear.
Thank you. It is very kind.
and he does what looks like it could have been a sneeze because he's just all fussed up, but he does like small fire snort. And he looks like he did it by accident, but he's trying to pretend he's pulling it off completely.
I do a little squeal, and then I suppress it.
The more you notice him being angry, the more you realise that this is a dragon that has never really been socialised.
Yeah, they don't know how to take care of the dragons.
No. We have a little time before the white robes appear.
While he's busy being upset about things, can I just take a look around the gold pile to see if I can see any eggshells or anything of the sort? That would look like a dragon egg.
You look around the gold, there's nothing of that sort now.
Okay. Just waiting for end of shift so we can run away.
Would anyone
Are
be
you
willing
guys
to...
going to translate?
Yeah,
Ah.
because the two of us
Sorry.
don't know.
I thought this whole
Yeah.
conversation, all these conversations were happening in common.
dragon-
Undercommon.
I shall explain. So, right, they have been forcibly milking this male dragon to presumably impregnate a female somewhere else, which will be where their egg came from. Now the great dragon knows that he's planning on destroying the entire city. He has offered to give us 24 hours. So when the white robes come, we go to the door we came in initially and ask for the commander. Tell the commander we want to go to the warehouse and then try and find a way of escaping before everything goes up in fire.
I have my doubt this poor excuse for a dragon could destroy this dwarven citadel. I mean, it can't fit through the door.
How else is it going to get out?
My theory here is that this dragon came from one of these bred dragon eggs. I mean, its belly has been toughened up. It was brought here before it grew to this size.
Yes, that is.
I doubt the dwarves don't have safeguards in place. Are we sure that it can raise enough of a ruckus for us to get out?
Well, there's still a dragon. A huge one.
Yes.
And they have wronged him.
They have. I do not doubt that he would do everything possible. I fear he will destroy the city or himself trying.
I mean, either
Neither
way,
is a good plan for us to be next to.
yeah, we'll be in the warehouse though.
Yes.
Nobody knows what conversation went around here, so we'll be in the warehouse. If things go bad, we try and run away. Things go not so bad, we're free of the dragon.
Well, actually, I'd like to grab one of the gold coins in the pile and check to see if it's real or fake.
Roll geology.
Great.
It's totally fake. It basically looks like iron with gold paint over it.
Ah, this poor dragon.
Right, this is worthless. This dragon's an idiot, I say as I throw the gold coin over my shoulder.
But if you had never seen gold, you'd believe it.
True.
This poor dragon.
I start crying.
Well, seems like him and us are the same condition. We're all slaves.
Except we're getting out.
That I agree on.
How has the dragon responded to our conversation?
The dragon looks like... If it had a expression, it would look like a sulky teenager. Like it's angry about something, but it's just trying to sort of think about what best to do in
It
silence.
does not appear to understand common.
Nope.
No.
Good.
It doesn't understand Draconic.
No.
13's going to go up to the dragon.
Mhm.
And she's going to say, how about instead of you burning the whole place down, we all leave to...
I think she meant together.
The dragon goes...
I wouldn't go anywhere. This is my kingdom, but my subjects need to learn.
But if you burn them all, there won't be any subjects left.
More will come.
Not down here. There's not many people down here.
I start edging 13 away before she gets eaten.
Tell him he needs to break out. He needs to break the walls.
Yes.
Layla says you need to break all the walls.
The walls?
Yeah.
Forgive me, mighty dragon, but you are too great and mighty to fit out of any of these doors. How will you break free?
This is the point where he just looks at you and he blinks and then looks at the door and blinks and back again, as if he's only just realised he's trapped.
You're very strong as well as very fiery, yes.
Let's see, what does he do? He seems to sort of gather himself and he looks like he's picking himself up and he goes,
I have the power to break through all of these walls. I am a god.
As the dragon rises up, Rasthikos will scoot as far away from his direction.
Okay.
I'll stay out of its way.
So, at this point, you hear a on the main door, and you hear the sound of the key going in and unlocking, and as it unlocks, about 12 figures in long white robes enter the room, rolling very big heavy oak barrels with them.
Are these dwarves?
They look more like they're some kind of elves, and the guards start telling you to go back to the servant quarters.
We would like to discuss something with the commander.
Yes.
What would you have to discuss with the commander?
I believe something went missing.
Yes? Do you have information about the artifact?
Possibly, but we would not be telling it to anyone other than the commander.
Right, okay, follow me.
He leads you out the room as these about 12 figures seem to set up at the foot of the dragon with these huge oak barrels.
Are they wearing white robes?
Yes.
Are they wearing gloves?
No.
Ugh.
That's unsanitary.
No,
Maybe
poor
the gloves are in their pocket.
I hope so.
Can I throw up in the corner? Kind of gross.
You can if you want, sure.
I feel so violated on the dragon's behalf.
So you head out and you head up towards this commander's office. He's standing, sort of staring out the window into the city itself, where you hear the sound of many merchants trying to shout their wares. As you enter, the dwarf who led you up there, the guard says,
They have information about the artifact.
and the commander turns round to face you and goes,
Right, well, what have you got for me? What do you know about the artifact?
The dragon has requested.
It mentioned the warehouse.
Dragon mentioned the warehouse.
Yes.
That's right.
Right.
Well, I suppose it could do with a clean, but why does the dragon care about the warehouse?
We didn't like to ask.
But what do you know about the artifact?
We know that it exists, or existed. We know at least part of the story of how it was procured, judged by the white robe scritches.
He narrows his eyes and goes, What do you know about the artifact?
Well, we know that he's not going to be very happy if he knows about it. And I think he does know about it.
We know you've been breeding your own private stable of dragons to light your forge.
I haven't been doing anything close to that.
Then who has?
It's a business deal. We have it with a group of elves that live in this city.
I see.
They take the warehouse. Well, we have to upkeep this dragon. They had a small, let's call it cosmetics company. When we need a cut of what we need a cut of to make another dragon, they give us it back. Till then, they use it and sell it. Makes a fortune. Why do you think all the nobles in town have such great skin?
Well, that's interesting.
Was that in common?
Yep.
Can I throw up some more, please?
Yep.
Are we in his office?
Yes.
Is there anything shiny on his desk?
Not really. On his desk is just really like a small bottle of ink and a quill.
Just gonna try stealing the bottle of ink.
It's not like a...
While everyone's talking, she's just gonna like sidle up to the desk and like try and...
You can steal the ink by drinking it.
It's a pot of ink, right?
It's like a small, like brass ink pot.
Yeah, so it is
lid on
shiny. So yeah, 30's just gonna try like subtly, sneakily take that in while he's being all shocked about his realising about the scripture.
Okay.
And while Layla's throwing up in the corner.
There's not like any letter openers or knives of any sort in here?
Not really, no. He's currently too busy being distracted by the fact Layla's throwing up in the corner. He's
So-
like,
Can't stop. I'm so disgusted right now.
so,
I pat her on the back gently.
Well, it could be worse. I could be throwing up, and I throw up acid.
so, why do you need to go to the warehouse?
Because the dragon told us to.
What does the dragon want at the warehouse?
He
Is that where the egg
suspects
is hidden?
It might
suspects
be.
something.
Is it? It could be. Wouldn't you like us to find out for you? And if we find out, and it was the elves, you don't need to worry about your business deal with them.
Yeah, we're outsiders.
He calls the dwarf guard back in and says, Take this group downstairs. Get them to load the cart. Take it to the warehouse. Once you're there, scrub the place clean. Check for eggs. If you find one, bring it back to me.
Your lordship, if you may, could we be subtly armed before we go there? Who knows
You will
what
have
goes
an armed guard. 6 of
Yeah,
them.
but
Your lordship, where is the female dragon?
We don't know.
Right.
We have a dealing with a merchant. He lives in the slums.
see,
He knows where the female dragon is.
Is this a duero that you forced to live in the outskirts?
Ugh. Darrow are scum.
None of you are looking too good either at the moment.
Yeah. We built this city.
we could try and help you out here. We could reach a deal if you're interested in making one.
What do you have to offer?
Well, it seems to me that you have a deal with the elves and there's a certain amount of red tape in the middle.
They
What if
pay
you
us in
had...
gold we use to augment the dragon's fortune? We pay
Yeah,
them
well,
in
the
dragon.
gold isn't real. We looked at the gold. The point is,
What?
if you didn't
What do you mean the
have...
gold isn't real?
Well, any person who gets some gold checks the gold first to see if it's real or not.
He again screams. The dwarf guard runs back in, tells him to go down to the dragon room. He doesn't care what they're doing and check the gold.
Well, while that man figures out the truth of the matter, here's the deal. We could probably find out where this female dragon is being kept. Some more information that might help you leverage against the elves. And in return, we get to go free of any obligations and possibly get a small reward on top.
And even if you are very lucky, you could bargain with your Themberchaud that he gets to destroy the elves that have betrayed you and not everyone in this city.
He can't destroy everyone in this city. He's a
Well, you could
pathetic
call-
whelp.
But he can cause
Growing
some
fat on his loins.
It's true. You have really, really fucked up with that dragon.
Yes, we're
Ridiculous.
going to start again. This time
Well-
we know what we did wrong.
And how
Always the
did
same
you-
with the firstborn.
What do you say about our deal?
I will consider it.
This dragon's been neutered in every way but the literal way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they need that part.
Can we help him get out?
The dragon?
The dragon, yes. Can we save the dragon?
He is our
I
dragon.
stopped throwing up for 5 seconds to say that.
You don't need to save him from anything. He's had nothing but luxury his whole life. He wouldn't survive if he left us. He'd be dead in weeks.
I look sideways at Layla and I give her a wink. Just kind of reassuring, kind of like nod that we'll try something.
He
We get
looks you
this
straight in
deal
the
on.
eye and says, he doesn't even have the strength in his jaw to chew. He's weak.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm done talking about the dragon. I'm more interested in this deal that will be beneficial to you in the long run. And you said you're gonna think about it, but it seems like the time for decision is now.
Take the stuff to the warehouse. I'll decide when you return.
Okay. If possible, could we also go figure out where this person in the slums is living? You can have your people follow us, but we need to not spook them. I know how these things work.
So, as you're about to leave, you hear this incredible roar that sort of echoes for about 17 seconds and then slowly fades. And the commander just says, that's him finished. The cart will be ready to load in 5 minutes.
We'll be on it.
So, about 10 minutes later, you are downstairs at this cart. There's about 8 or 9 of these rather warm barrels being loaded onto the cart.
Oh my god, do we have to go in there?
I don't want to touch them.
I will sit next to them and spare the others the proximity.
I will walk beside the car.
I
You,
feel like I'd rather walk as well.
Yeah.
As I'm walking beside Layla, I kind of go, don't worry about the dragon. I mean, it'd be pretty difficult to convince him to get out of the place in the first one.
I think the dragon's, considering what we know of his condition, this is probably the best he could hope for.
Yeah. It's just a sad, sad thing.
Yeah.
I shake my
really
head.
hot.
I mean, if we could rehabilitate the dragon, that would be a very powerful asset.
You're not wrong.
But
He does not seem the type to willingly be an asset to anyone.
well, he's a dragon.
Well, you know what I was thinking? If we got our hands on the female dragon and boy dragon were to meet girl dragon, maybe he'd grow a bit of a spine.
He seems fairly young. He might, but honestly, at first I want to be out of this city before he tries to destroy everything.
I don't think he can destroy much of anything.
He could try. He's still a dragon.
Either way, I'd take our chances with 6 armed guards rather than staying here. City full of armed guards.
Are the armed guards right behind us?
yep, the armed guards are sort of surrounding you as you
Do they
travel.
understand what we're talking about, or are we?
They're looking at you with sort of disdain.
Did any of them react to what I just said?
Nope.
Good.
I
Some
wave
of
at
them maybe
them.
narrowed their eyes, but that's about all you got from it.
I wave at them, and I ask 13 to wave at the nice people as well.
13 waves at the nice people. Did 13 manage to steal the brassing?
You did, yes.
Yes.
How are
He was
the,
too distracted by the tiefling in the corner vomiting her guts up.
how are the guards armed and dressed?
They are armed with a two-handed weapon, a one-handed weapon, and a shield, effectively. They look like they're sort of battle-ready as well, and they are dressed in very heavy either
really-
chainmail or leather dwarven armor. So you journey along on the cart towards this warehouse, which you go from the sort of finery of the city where you hear merchants and sort of hustle and bustle of everything else, through one of these quite elaborate-looking archways and into the slums. All the ground is sort of made of this very thick grey mud, kind of like the ash is settled with the mud, and there's lots of slime and ooze everywhere. And as you trundle along on this cart, eventually you come to this massive wooden building on the edge of the river. As you pull up, the doors are swung open and a couple of people run out to try and start rolling the barrels inside.
Are they elves?
They do look like sort of elvish.
But not really elves?
They look sort of like half elf, half dwarf.
How unusual.
From where we are, can we see anything inside the warehouse since they have opened the door?
You look inside, They seem to have what looks like a sort of cold storage room that they seem to be rolling the barrels into. And they seem to have what looks like a couple of giant alchemy mixing cauldrons.
Ooh. Are the guards kind of overseeing this transfer of barrels?
Yep.
Can we sneak off?
You can, yes. As
Okay,
you
I
begin
will-
to start sneaking away, one of the guards points and says, "Oi, you!" And he walks towards you. As you get ready to sort of confront him, walks straight past you, and he grabs a passerby by like the scruff and lifts him up. You all recognise this as Bipido, who was the zealot one that you were chained next to.
Oh, him.
Hello.
He goes,
What are you doing, my friend? I am doing nothing wrong.
the dwarf starts telling him that he is peddling tainted mushrooms.
Is he? I don't see any mushrooms.
All you hear is,
No, these are normal mushrooms. Here, I show you.
and he takes an obvious handful, shoves them in his mouth and starts chewing. You watch as his eyes, pupils start going pinpoint, eyes start going wide, hair starts standing on end, and he just starts going frenzied. He
13
swings,
would like to run into the warehouse.
he swings for that dwarf,
Yeah.
kills him straight away.
What?
Awesome. Let's take weapons.
With a single
He is.
punch?
Imagine if you took like a crazed convict and you put him on LSD, like
Yeah,
like very high
PCP.
strength LSD.
Yeah.
He basically ripped the dwarf's head off with his bare hands.
I say, guards! I just kind of run.
And he runs towards the group of guards.
I'm going to start taking all the weapons from the dead dwarf.
Okay, so the dead dwarf has dropped a single-handed sword, a two-handed hammer, and a shield.
I'll start to see if I can get the armor of him.
Okay, he has standard chainmail, so you could probably get away with wearing it.
I mean, it's probably a bit short.
It probably is
I
going to be
suppose-
like a sort of crop top on you.
I was going to give it to 13 since I think she's the only one that fits.
A
You
sports
might find it heavy
chainmail.
to wear chainmail, just saying.
A
Yeah.
sports chainmail.
Yep, sports chainmail, yep.
Well, it might cover your heart.
As you look over, the guards are desperately, barely parrying blows from this crazed psychopath.
If anyone else drops a sword, I'm just picking it up on the way into the warehouse.
Yes. I think we go into the warehouse
Let's see.
while the guards are all
Yeah,
distracted.
they're all just sort of continually parrying each other.
I'll put on the chain crop top and reach out towards Therese and say, "You pick yours, I'll take the spare."
Very well.
Okay.
And we
Are
head
you-
into the warehouse.
You're escaping into the warehouse?
I think so.
Okay. So
I
you're
want to
inside a
know what's
warehouse. A couple of people have tried to barricade the door when they hear the sound outside. You see in front of you two large mixing vats where they seem to be mixing the contents of the barrels with water from the stream and then bottling it.
Ugh.
Who seems to be in charge?
13's going to steal a couple of bottles of
Okay.
dragon spunk
Watered
cream.
down.
Dragon spunk cream.
Watered down dragon smoke. Tasty.
Ugh.
So
You came up with this, Nikolai.
I
yeah,
dread
so in charge it looks like there's a couple of elves. They don't look like they're like properly in charge, but they look like they're overseers effectively.
I'm like, quick, there's a madman outside destroying everything.
They run out the front to have a look and see what's going on. As they do this, you see a head flying past of another dwarven soldier.
Can we barricade the doors to keep them out?
But that
can
means
if you
we're
want.
inside.
If you can punch a head clean off, I don't think a barricade's going to stop you.
I don't think
Yes, the dwarf doesn't care about us.
true.
He cares about the guards.
Somehow he thinks we're his friends, despite me knocking him out back when...
I'm
Well-
not sure if it's friends so much as we don't actively persecute him.
From outside, you hear a
Forbin Karazhan!
Yeah, I think he's crazy. I would like to rifle through any kind of material on the alchemical benches and see if there's any notes or anything that can kind of clue us into what's happening.
You find basically the equivalent of like a sort of spatula.
Yeah.
You
Not
find
touching it.
a couple of small measuring spoons, and you find a large bag of what you could only describe as paprika.
I take the paprika.
Okay.
Okay. Could I do an arcana check, please?
Mm-hmm.
Because, they're partly elves. They may have something useful.
There is something very magical about the cauldrons.
Ooh. Can I inspect them further?
It just seems that they've got some kind of enchant in them that basically helps with the chemical process.
So it's not just watering it down?
Nope.
So what you're saying is the 2 bottles of watered down dragon spunk I've got
Are magical.
are magical
yes.
dragon spunk.
There you go.
They're aerated like soda.
How many bottles of this could 13 technically carry?
You could probably carry about 6.
I mean, because I'm picturing, because she's wearing this massive robe, which is far too big,
You
so it
could just-
folds a lot.
I will offer the bag of paprika and say, stuff them in here.
If you want to take as many as possible, you could probably take about 20 bottles.
Yeah.
Wow.
What
I'm
you're
gonna help
do with
her
it is
put it in
beyond
the
me, but
bags.
yeah, you could take it.
Okay, we're taking 20 bottles of dragon spunk. Hey, it's cosmetic, we can sell it, make some...
I am on board. Is there a way out of here?
There's a back door to the warehouse, yes. It leads onto the edge of the river.
So I
I'm
turn
going
to
to run out
everyone
with
and I
you.
say, okay. Okay, well, she's going. Does everyone want
I
to
need
go?
to get out of there. I can't be in that room with all of that stuff. I just can't.
I mean, we ran from one place.
I think we leave.
I'll take one quick look out to see how the Darrow's doing
You
against the remaining 4 guards at this
out
point.
the door. He has a sword through his shoulder and he's still frenziedly slashing away. So you find a hammer and a short sword at your feet. Do you want to take it?
Yes.
Okay. So you take both of them. So you now have a couple of weapons and you run out the back door and along the river. Eventually you come to just outside of town as you hear the sound of flames erupting from the middle of the city.
I turn around and give everyone some thumbs up. I'm like, we made it.
13 cheers.
At the very least, he's managed enough to get that amount of flame outside. That is good.
True, yeah.
So
Taking
where,
care of business.
Beautiful.
so where do we go from here?
Let's stay away from cities.
I feel so sorry for that dragon.
Yeah,
Although,
that was horrendous.
but hey, it looks like he has been empowered by our information.
Also, we now have a successful, lucrative, watered-down soda dragon spunk business to get off the ground.
I really want to open it and do some more arcana.
Yeah, we can spare a bottle. No problem.
Oh my god.
Well,
Cold silence returns. The waters lay still, for this week at least. Join us again next week for more of our tale. This podcast is an adaptation of Out of the Abyss, a 5th edition D&D adventure. It was adapted from the original story by Nikolai Popsky. The podcast features Nikolai, Dragon, Shiraz, Freya, Susie Q, Tauno, and Wednesday LeFay. All music was written and performed by Daniel Boström. Artwork was by John Moore. And if you, dear listener, wish to acquire your own sets of finest metal or acrylic adventuring dice, then journey through the Underdark to dndice.co.uk and speak the name Penance RPG at the checkout for a 5% discount off your order. Farewell and Godspeed, for we fear the madness is closing in. Good night out there, whatever you are. Ha 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 ha.